When you reach a point realizing you need to change some things for your business in order to generate growth and make more profit, you know it's time to evaluate how you're spending your time. I'm Glory Borgeson from Borgeson Consulting. When you want to develop business growth strategies, one step you want to take is evaluating how you're spending your time, either as the business owner or as the rainmaker for a company you work for. Now, to do that, go through a list of tasks, such as the list shown on your screen, and first figure out approximately how much time you spend on each task every week. The total amount of time for all the tasks should equal the average amount of time you spend in the business weekly as a typical week. Then go through each task again, this time assigning whether the task is high yield, medium yield, or low yield. Now, as a bit of definition, high yield activities give you the highest profit for your time. It could mean that the activity leads to more sales, and it can also mean the activity leads to reducing expenses, which is just another way to increase profit. Low yield activities contribute little to net profit, and medium yield activities fall somewhere in the middle. As you complete that evaluation, highlight all of the high yield activities and add up the total amount of hours per week you spend just on these high yield tasks. Divide that number by the total number of hours per week you spend on the business. That is your percentage of time you spend on high yield activities each week. Now, for many of you, your new goal will be to get your high yield time percentage to somewhere between 50% and 80% of your time. Next, add up all the time you spend weekly on low yield activities and then divide that number by the total amount of time spent on the business weekly. Now, is that percentage too high? Typically, time spent on low yield tasks comes from several sources, such as the inability to tell people no, having way too much information just coming at you all the time, having to deal with clutter, and in general, developing habits that don't use your time well. In the next video, I'll talk about habits, establishing what I call the 3-day plan, and changing your thinking, which leads to the point where you're spending more time each week on your high yield activities. Get more information from my website, borgesonconsulting.com, where you can find out about strategies for business growth, individual and group coaching, books, and other resources to help take your business and your leadership to new levels of growth. Links are also in the video's description box. You can tap one of the images on the right side of your screen and watch the next video on business growth strategies.